4 Parsi priests all of a sudden came to Meherabad to see Baba. I was inside, I was not there. Baba calls them. And my father was in tears, crying, and tells Baba that my son, eldest son, on whom I depended so much, I have spent so much of my money to educate him, and now he has renounced this world and is sitting near you. Baba said, who says he has not renounced the world? He is all right. He is a good boy, he will come with you. So Baba calls me and says, now you go with your father. So what can I do? I have now come to stay with you permanently, and you are now driving me away and leaving. You are now leaving me. Then he dictated on the alphabet, even if you leave me, I will not leave you. These were his words. Then he took me aside and tells me that no one is yet able to love me as I should be loved. To be near me, to be attracted by my physical presence is not a big thing. It is to obey me is the greatest thing. So I tell you, you obey me. I am not leaving you. You are with me. I am always with you. But first thing that you should learn to obey me. So I order you to go with your father. Go, do anything that you find a job or anything and stay with him. Well, I had to go. I was very much disappointed, and I stayed with my uncle in Bombay for a time. Then one day, my uncle, whose son was working in Persia as a manager in a business firm, he had apparently written to his son that here Meherjee is with Meher Baba, and you see, you call him so that he will be away from Meher Baba and he may get some job, give him some work there. I did not know, or even my father did not know. So one day, the boss, the proprietor of a company, he was in Bombay at that time, he writes a letter to me that I would like to see you. I did not know, so I just went to see him. I was also frustrated and I wanted to go away from India. I said, why should I be near Bombay and this place? They have taken my father, I was to blame my father. He has taken me away from Baba, and what the hell I have to say, stay here now. So that gentleman offered me a job. You come to my office in Bandarabas. Your cousin has written to me that I should bring you. I said, yes. Then I will pay you 60 rupees per month. That is about $8. 60 rupees per month, and we'll give you a deck passage. That means not even in the cabin, on the steamer, to go on the deck. I was still prepared to go even then. I said, I would go away from him. But I could not go without Baba's permission. So I tell my uncle that tomorrow I am going to see a cricket match at Nasik, and I would like to go. So my uncle permitted, yes, you can go enjoy yourself. But my purpose was to go to Baba at Ahmednagar. So I took the night train and go to Baba in the morning. Baba asked me, what brings you here? Baba, such and such thing, I have been offered a good job there, that's pay and this thing. I said, no, not now. I am also coming, but not now. I will be taking you. Go back to Bombay. I returned. Baba said, no, so I could not. At the same time, I did not reply to the boss that I am not coming. I had told him that I will come. I will get my father's permission and come. So after a time again, the boss himself comes to my uncle's house one evening. I was not at home, and he tells him that why Meherjee did not come and inform me whether he is coming or not coming. I should know. At least tell him to see me at this address. So next morning I go. My uncle, I was not going. So my uncle says, no, it's not nice. A gentleman comes to our house, himself he tells him, you just go and tell him that no, my father does not want me and I don't want to come to. So I go and tell him. Now I had not a face to tell him. Once having agreed to come, I had not a face to come and tell him that my father now does not want me to go. I said, sir, you offered me a pay of 60 rupees. Am I a menial servant? You offered me a passage on deck like just these sailors and other laborers go to Persian Gulf. No, sir. But why did you not? So what do you want? All right, I will give you 100 rupees. And every year I will increase 25 rupees after seeing your work. and I will take you in second class cabin. Again the temptation came. Next morning I again go to Baba. Baba, here is now this. He says, yes, now you go. Now you go. See the model here, how Baba saved the situation for me. If I had agreed on the first terms of that gentleman, I would have been always treated as a menial, as a common man or common clerk or something like that. But here I dictated my terms and he agreed. And so that man also knew that here is somebody who wants to work and earn. But that situation Baba saved for me. Well, that way I went to Persia, Persian Gulf, Bandar Abbas as a... Yes, another order from Baba that all these 100 rupees per month that you will get from as your pay, you have to send it to your father. See, Baba always stressed the necessity of carrying out our normal duties. Baba knew that my father was poor, he had a large family to maintain, and I did not have any such expenses there. So all the whole salary I should send to my father. And he always insisted that it's your duty to look to your father, to your parents, to your other brothers, sisters if they are younger ones. That is the first duty. Then only you will be able to love God. If you don't love your own people, how could you love strangers, outsiders? So that way I went to Persia. I worked there for 4 years. 3 years. After 3 years I came back to Bombay. I asked Baba, I wanted to get married. He permitted me to get married. He saw my wife to be. He liked her. I said, all right, go ahead and get married. I married and went back again to the same job. After a year, some whim came into my mind that why should I not do business myself? I did not have any capital or money or anything. I just wrote to Baba, Baba, I would like to open a small shop and do some business of my own. The pay that I am getting here is nothing. I can at least earn that much. Baba said, go ahead. My nazar is there, my blessings are there, and you, whatever you feel honestly best, you do it. So that way I ventured and I opened the shop. It was a little smaller than this stage. Now I had no money, capital to buy even locally some few things, pen, pencil, these things or paper and sell to others. My uncle gave me 1500 rupees on loan. 1500 rupees is $200. And I started, alright. Now first thing that I did, that I got letterheads printed in Bombay on first quality imported English bond paper. On that, Meherjee and Company, import, export, clearing, forwarding, shipping, insurance. Telegraphic address, Meherjee Bandar Abbas, bankers so-and-so, codes, Bentleys, ABC, Orientals, Schofields, all these big letters finally printed at a good press in Bombay and with nice paper. Then I started writing to different foreign companies like in Germany, America, Japan. From the trade journals, I got their addresses. Say some cutlery manufacturer. So I would write that, I would like to represent you in Persia, whole of Persia. And I would like you to send me your comprehensive samples. I am enclosing herein a draft of say 1 pound or 2 pounds draft. I used to deliberately send them. Because for an unknown party, if I ask for free samples, no one would countenance my request. So when I send the bank draft of say 1 pound or 2 pounds, just nominal, and they think that here is somebody very sincere, in this business, they would send out samples worth much more than what the amount I sent. All the samples they used to, and I used to sell those samples in my shop. That way, my business also by Baba's grace slowly improved. Of course, there have been innumerable difficulties also. And by it was 1934 I started this. By 1943, I had made enough money. My business had grown all over Persia. I used to deal in many things, tea, sugar, textiles, silk goods, refrigerators, radios, gramophones, records, cutlery, Chinaware, special Chinaware, porcelain ware I used to order out from Japan, giving them special designs that you will never find anywhere in market. And also putting at on the label that it is Britannia, Meherjee Baba, so that people would think that it is a British material. It was all from Japan. So the business grew tremendously and all over Persia. I used to export carpets I started making carpets in Kerman and used to export to America, New York. Then I go to India in 1943. I just give you here another instance of Baba's guidance. In 1934, end of 1934, I went to Bombay. We used to go every 2 years or 3 years. And as usual, I just go to my friends and find out where, because Baba was traveling. My first reaching shores of India, first intention was to see Baba. So I go there and I knock the door. And believe me, Baba's brother Jal comes and opens the door. It's a private family, a private house. He says, "Why did you come here? Who told you that we are here?" I did not know anything. I just came yesterday by steamer, yesterday evening, and today I came here to inquire. Baba hears him shouting at me, and Baba himself comes there, takes my hands and keeps aside Jal and tells him why. So he met me. Then I went to inquire and Baba was there to greet me. Then we had the talks. That trip, Baba then I went to Europe in a few days. It was a very private visit of Baba. No one was allowed to know, no one knew where Baba was, and Baba was to sail for Europe. And I came there, and if Baba had sailed, I would not have met him and I would have been disappointed. That was in 1934 end. Then in 1943 again I come. I could not come from 1934 to 43 to India because in 39 the war started and the business and everything was there, so I could not leave the office. I came in 1943. At that time on the steamer we had some Parsi tourists. Some rich people from Bombay had come to visit Persia. They were my guests at Bandar Abbas and we sailed together. We reached Karachi. And at Karachi, the purser of the steamer was a friend of mine, comes and tells me that, "Meherjee, if you want to go 2 days earlier to Bombay, there is a fast ship just going, I can transfer you and your wife, but not this whole group. There is only, I can give you one cabin and you will reach 2 days earlier." The steamer by which we were traveling was a slow steamer, stopping at every port. I thought that yes, it's a nice chance. But then I discussed with my wife, okay, we should go and see those people, what they will think, that they were my guests at Bandar Abbas, we sailed together, we come here and we leave them and go away like that. I said, it doesn't look nice. No, we will reach 2 days later. We reached Bombay 2 days later. Again I go to my friend's house to find out where Baba is. I was told that Baba left for Europe yesterday. I think you follow. If I had taken that opportunity to come to Bombay 2 days earlier, I would have met Baba. But here, such opportunity also does not arise. As if Baba sent that purser to me and offered me this place, and I declined. So, actually, if I had taken that opportunity and gone to Bombay, I would have met Baba, and I did not meet him. Then again I come to 1945. I meet Baba, and Baba that time orders me that now you wind up your business and come back to India. My business was flourishing. I thought that now I have done enough and I have not to labor hard anymore. But he says, wind up and come. So I had to wind up and come back to India. I do not want to go in details of other stories. After I wound up my business, for 10 years Baba made me whatever money I could bring from Persia was invested with my cousin and another of Baba's disciples, Mr. Mandali and 10 years I was made partner in his firm of dyes and chemicals. But at the same time, I was free with Baba. I was free to do Baba's work, go with Baba on tours, must trips, other things, for these 10 years. But these 10 years, from material point of view and from business point of view, were a total disaster for me. I could not make any, I could not get my expenses even. But it was Baba's orders, I had to stick to that. One day in 1959, again Baba orders me that now you break off your partnership and whatever he gives you, you take. Otherwise you will not get that much even. I obeyed, no accounts, nothing, whatever was given to me. And then I thought of starting a paper mill, handmade paper mill. I asked Baba, should I do this business? So go ahead, I will help you. I purchased a piece of land. I wanted land about 3/4 of an acre. But it was a 5-acre piece. The landlord said, no, if you buy the whole piece, I give you, otherwise I don't sell. Reluctantly, I was compelled to buy that 5 acres of land. I purchased the land and difficulties, one after another. The government would not release it for a factory first. And he said it's a reserved area and you will get the price of 1934. Now, price in 1934 was just, it was a jungle, nothing. Even now when I purchased also it was jungle. But the price made a big difference. So I come to Baba, Baba there, I said, don't worry, why do you worry? Everything will be alright. I ran here and there. For 18 months I had to run after government to get release of that. 18 months. And all this time I had to eat from my capital. I come to Baba with tears, actually with tears. Baba said, why you are crying? Your land is raw gold, he said. Don't worry, water will come right up to here. It will not enter your nostrils. I won't allow you to sink, but bear with me. And really today that land is gold. Land that I purchased for 70,000 rupees is today worth over 700,000 rupees. It has become a big township that side. Well, the factory was just put on, started. In the meantime, floods came to Pune, those dams burst, some of you may be knowing that, and there was no water. In a paper mill requires plenty of water. I was worried about this thing. I took water from a neighbor's well, put a long pipeline and pumps and boosted up and started work. Papers were piled up, no one would buy. Nothing, filter papers they were. I did not know what filter papers were. I had never been in any industry also. And I thought there are filter papers that in college or schools that we use are filter papers. Not that. In short, my neighbor who gave me water from his well became very difficult for me and would not give me the water. Now the factory must be closed. I can't. Baba was at that time, Meherjee. I was desperate, so much desperate. So I consulted my friend who is a city engineer there, that please give me somebody who would bore a well very economically for me in my property. And my property is a quarry. Actually the building is built in rocks from a quarry. So he arranged for me somebody to bore the well. Those people came. Say, where do you want to bore the well? I said, yeah, this is just near the building so that there may not be much expenditure for plumbing and other things. I can boost up the water on the tanks overhead and we can use it. So he smiled. I said, are you a fool? You want me to bore this well into this rock here? Have you got any geologist or water diviner to see whether there is water here or not? So much in anger, say, or in sheer desperation, I said, please take Meher Baba's name and start digging here. Honestly, I am telling you today, it's the story of 1963. That man, then all right, I don't know, I get per foot, whatever I dig, I get my wages by. At 3.5 feet, I got water. In rock. The men who was engineers who were boring the well also were astonished that your Meher Baba gives just like they take Meher Baba's name and you get water even. I said, yes, if you have the conviction, if you take him as God, you will also get the same way. But you have to be honest. Here it was my difficulty. I was not asking any special favors or anything. I am drowning, so I said that if this water, I don't get the water, I can't run the mill. I have plowed back all my money into it. I had bought from my life insurance, borrowed from the bank, mortgaged my property, everything was at the time. I cut it now.
Perhaps you could tell us, were you ever interested in astrology? Did Bob ever?
That all right, I'll tell you. See the water, I was in debts, total debts, everything I had. Even I would not use my car, I would go on bicycle for my work. I was not ashamed that why should I be ashamed? I have no money, why should I use my car and chauffeur? I don't drive, I have to employ a chauffeur. So I used to go on bicycle for my work. And I used to meet Baba. Baba said, have patience, everything is going to be alright. Why are you worrying? If you want money, I will give you. I said, no Baba, I don't want money, I want my business to go right. I have not done anything wrong, I have not cheated anybody, why all these things on my head? In 1943, when I had been to India, I had a very good friend, business friend, who had helped me initially in my business also. We were just having lunch together and he asked me, how is business, how much you have? I said, yes, now I am quite alright, I am on my legs, it's very good. He tells me that, Meherjee, war money does not last long. This is war money you have earned. So make arrangements before you finish with it. I said, but I have got all the goods everywhere and I am doing business in a normal way. Then he said, have you got your horoscope? I said, I don't believe in horoscope. What that horoscope is going to do with it? He said, no, but your father must be having it. You know, in India it's a custom when a child is born, the horoscope is always prepared. I also took a fancy and wrote to my father that send my horoscope. My father stays about 150 miles from Bombay. He sent me the horoscope. One day, I and my friend took that horoscope to a very learned old astrologer, a Sanskrit scholar whom even ministers and big business people used to consult. You know, in India, they consult astrology for doing anything. Even someone is to get married, they consult the astrologer with the horoscopes, whether the horoscopes tally with each other or not. That man said that, all right, I will look into it and you come next week, I will tell you. Next week we go and he tells us that, Meherjee, you are running into very bad stars very soon. And you are likely to lose practically everything that you have gained, or at least half of it. So better immediately clear off everything and take care of your money. Now money as such, cash, I did not have. I was doing business blindly, buying, selling, and I had all the goods everywhere spread all over Persia. So he warned me that now the stars are coming, bad stars are coming, so I should dispose of the goods, I thought. And I sent telegrams to my offices that start selling all the goods at current market rate, irrespective of profit or loss. That done, then I come to see Baba at Lahore. Baba was there. So I told you that I met Baba last in 1934, and this was 11 years I had not met him. So Baba tells me now, tell me all these 11 years what you have done. Tell me the whole story of your life. Wife, children, business, money. So I told him everything. Baba said, yes, now everything is all right. Then I tell him that just 2 days back, the astrologer told me, and I sent a telegram to my offices to dispose of the goods. Baba takes my ear and twists it. He said, you fool, what do you take me to be? He said, God. Then who makes your stars? Who makes your destiny? Why did you send this? I say, yes, Baba. He immediately made one of Baba's disciples who was near, dictated a telegram to my office, don't sell anything till Meherjee returns. And Baba warned me that why should you go after horoscopes and stars and these things. I am here. I can change your stars in the twinkle of an eye. I can make your stars. I can make you prosperous. I can destroy you also. It's in my hands. If I am God, if you take me to be God, then I can do anything that I like with you. And I return to Persia, start selling, and he ordered me that go and do your business as usual you have been doing. Nothing. I made on those goods that I had at that time 150,000 rupees profit. I hope you follow me what I mean to say. If I had sold, on my first telegram, I had started selling away and disposing away everything, I would have lost at least 50% on that. Instead, I made 150,000 rupees profit, more than that, on those goods. That's the way Baba guards us, protects us. But that does not mean that he always gives you prosperity and money and material things. It is in his plan, sometimes it comes in. Sometimes he brings you down also, as he did up later on in my paper factory. Again he brought me up. That is, I say that if we have the conviction, if we take him as God, we are not to worry about anything, only to carry out his orders. Someone may ask me that, well, he is not physically present, from whom we can get the orders? He is here, he is with us. We have to ask our own conscience, honestly, if you want to do anything, Baba, I would like to do these things and I am doing it in honesty. We have to go ahead and leave the result to Baba. Sometimes the results are to our liking, sometimes they are not to our liking. In both ways we have to remain resigned to his will. As far as spiritual life is concerned, for me, if people ask me on what plane you are or what you gain spiritually from Baba, I would say that I have never cared for that. I have never asked Baba that I want spiritual enlightenment or I want God realization or anything. Because I know when I have God, when I know that I have God with me, well, He will do whatever, it is His responsibility, not mine. If I carry out His orders, if I behave as I should, and then my spiritual upliftment is left to Him. I should not worry about that. And we never worry. And all the Baba Mandali, resident Mandali, those who have been with Baba, we never cared for spiritual upliftment or anything. Even breaking of Baba's silence, someone says, we never said, Baba has been talking to us. We never felt that he was silent. He insisted always that you live in this world. You are not to renounce the world. You are not to renounce your duties towards your family, towards your friends. You live an honest life. If you are in business, do business. If you are serving somewhere, service, stick to your service. Do your job properly. Do your duty to your family, wife, children. You are not to, those who renounce these duties, Baba says, that is a coward. If in the world, living in this life also, if we suffer, we have to suffer gladly. And if we have always Baba at the back of our mind and do anything that we feel that we are doing consciously and honestly, we are not to worry about anything. That's my experience.
We have some time for some questions, if anyone has any questions.
You have a question?
Go ahead.
If I can reply, yes.
I wonder, could you tell me how ecological your paper factory is?
How?
How ecological?
I don't think there seems to be a problem.
Does your paper factory cause pollution of the environment?
Pollution of the environment, no. Because first of all, we don't use any raw material. We use only cotton rags, new rags. And that we digest in very dilute caustic soda. And it's very dilute thing. And that is with plenty of water is there and it goes into the drain. There is no pollution.
Irwin, you have a question? Anyone else have any other questions of Meherjee? Oh.
Did you know, when you were first teaching in school in Prem Ashram, were you very close to Alaba? And did you know him very well?
Yes, I knew him since he was this much, 7 or 8 or 9 he came, I think, to ashram. Yes, and he's still there and I still know him.
Next question.
Well, I know that I am 67 today.
Happy birthday.
No, not today.
Now.
I told you forgot in my talk.
Any?
Yes.
And I was Baba, it didn't matter to the people who were with him whether they were poor or rich. Some of them, it didn't matter. He wanted you to go to the world, so you went.
No, I
So
don't
you
follow.
did everything.
Virginia, I don't follow what you say.
You were not attached to the wealth. You didn't Baba told you go and make a business, so you went into the business.
Certainly, I had nothing with me. I was not attached, I had no wealth, none. I told you I borrowed from my uncle 1500 rupees to start with and I paid it up. Came with Baba came in I think 1930 to Persia on a tour. That boy also was with him. At Isfahan, that boy insisted that he would like to go back to his place in the Persian Gulf from where he was coming. Baba asked him, no, wait for a time, I will let you go, but not now, just wait for some time. He persisted and he would not listen. So Baba would never press anybody or force anybody. So Baba embraced him and let him go. Later on when he met me, he told me that when Baba allowed him to go, Baba had tears in his eyes. Very rarely Baba has tears. We have seen once or twice like that. Never Baba had tears in his eyes. But the worst part of it is how that boy suffered later. That I read. He returns to his place. Then he gets a job in Anglo-Persian Oil Company at Abadan. At that time it was a British company. And some of you may be knowing that there was a great anti-British feeling in Persia at that time. He was employed, he has a night job in some shipping department or something. Now he had a friend in Karachi. So he used to send Persian newspapers to him to Karachi, and that fellow friend was sending him Indian newspapers to Persia. As boys they were very young. They used to write some poetry or something on those newspapers. Some irrelevant things. Some poetry of Hafiz or something. They used to write something on newspapers. So once the Persian postal authorities detect that these people are exchanging some codes, they are spies, British spies, and they are exchanging some codes in this way. A poor fellow was put into dark cell in prison without any trial or anything. Well, the Persian authorities tried to find out what it is, but they could not find anything. There was nothing absolutely. So for 3 or 4 months he was kept into that dark cell, and then he was allowed to go to his native place and with orders not to leave that place. Something like he was on parole. He returns to his place and he got another job in Persian customs there. I come to know after a time and his place and the place where I was doing business were not very far. Persian ports, they were in the Persian Gulf. I came to know that he is working in customs after some years. So I immediately wrote to Baba, that Baba, here is, we used to call him Chota Baba, this boy. Here is working in customs with a meager pay, and if you permit me, I would like I am very badly in need of a Persian clerk who could write correspondence in Persian and do. So I would employ him and I would give him good pay. Immediate reply from Baba came, you employ him, not only you employ him, but I will be very happy, I will be very glad that you take him with you. But he would not come. He was so frightened, he was put into prison. He was not allowed to leave that port. Orders from Persian government. The reason he was not coming, he was just writing to me, and war had started. So during the war, all conditions in Persia were changed. There were British, there were Americans, they all had come to Persia. And I was at that time a British national. India was British at that time. So we had also some, I had always some influence there. The Persians were very good with me. So now, by coincidence, he was transferred to another port from that place by government. So it was a government order, he had to go. But as during the war, the ships were not going, so he had to take a land route, and he came to Bandarabas where I was. And I caught hold of him and would not allow him to go. I said, I am responsible, why you are worried? Why do you worry about these things? And I arranged for it, I made him give resignation to his job. It was passed, and he's still there. He worked with me for several years. Then when I left Persia, I entrusted my business also to him. But poor fellow is a straightforward, honest man. Of course, about his spiritual experience, he has nothing now. That means it is latent. It is latent, but he feels, and he of course he knows who Baba is, but poor fellow never succeeded in business.
So does he remember that experience?
Yes, he remembered. He told us about his experience, about his meeting with Baba, and Baba had tears and all these things. He's still there in Bandarabas. See, in 1945, as I told you, Baba asked me to wind up my business and come back to Bombay. So I returned. So my business could not be wound up, but I entrusted this to this Chota Baba, everything, and I came out. Entrusted this, and it was in the process of winding up. I came out, and my wife was carrying a child at that time. She was pregnant. So we came, and we had no home in Bombay or anything. We had just returned after several years. So we had put up at the Taj Mahal Hotel. So I asked Baba that, and the delivery time was near. So I asked Baba that where should she go for delivery? Which hospital or which doctor? So Baba said that either Pune or Bombay. So Baba said you go take her to Kama and All Bliss Hospital in Bombay. That's a municipal hospital, government hospital for very, very poor people. Very, very poor people. So much so that the women after delivery they have to lie on floor. But of course my wife was given a room with 3 or 4 other women. It was a very dirty room. Nothing, of course, food was being done. My friends, I had business people, business connections in Bombay, my relations, friends, they all thought that what a miser Meherjee is. That he has earned so much money, he has got so much money, and yet he takes his wife to this poor hospital for free delivery. No one knew. How could I tell them that it was Baba's orders that I had done? All of them, they did not believe in Baba or what. Or if I say that the Baba's order, they would laugh at me. My position was where my friends, business people also used to come. Actually, wife of one of my business friend was so much Dutch that she used to send chicken soup and things from our own house. Well, that is the obedience comes first with Baba.
I wonder where did you go on one of your bus tours? How far was that and how long?
It will not end. It's not
It's all right.
Must trips are. I mean, there are so many must trips. You've got that Wayfarer book. Everything is given in detail about Baba's must trips, must work. I had been on several must trips also.
Thank you, Meherjee.
Jai Baba.